Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am from Group 1. I will explain about aluminium extrusion die for the casting process. Environment issue concerning the extrusion die process will be the potential for electric shock exists when removing the extrude cover through exposing bare wire and electrical connection. Extrusive heating band are normally 220 to 440 volt and can cause serious electrical shock. Check the wire to the heater band on the die and adapter to assume that there are no fire, bare or exposed wire or connecting that can cause electric shock. Next, the potential safety hazard around extrude is fall. At start up, the extrude normally generates some crack which may be on the floor around the die of the extrude. Some extrusion process use water for cooling. Water spill on the floor should be removed with a wet dry vacuum or wet to a dry. Wet floor are very split and can cause fall.
Laser cutting is an alternative process for advanced manufacturing for aluminium. Mostly, laser cutting is a mainly thermal process in which its focused laser beam is used to melt material in localized area. Actually, aluminium was a light, reactive, and heat-conductive metal, so it can be difficult to fabricate the using of laser cutting process. But for aluminium, laser cut involve the use of high power setting and cup with compressed gas technology is most suitable. So nitrogen and oxygen, as is a laser cutting machine, can be shaped aluminum at relative high capacities with the quality of edge with good finish.
Advantage of extrusion die for aluminium. Strong. Aluminium can be concentrated by including varying wall thickness and internal reinforcement in the profile design. Easy to fabricate and assembly. Effective design of aluminium extrusion can greatly simplify subsequent fabricate and assembly. High in the strength to weight material. Aluminium extrusion combination of high strength and low weight make them ideal for a key performance. Seamless. Complex shape can be realized in one pinch extruded aluminium section without having to rely on a joint machining. Advantage of a laser cutting for aluminium. High accuracy and precision cut. When extremely high accuracy and precision are required, laser are the most always the best choice. Low lead time with no need replacement or modified tool. It also not have a physical cutting surface which wear out. High sheet utilization with less waste. By cut properly, a laser cutter can maximize the number of usable sheet of a material. Low power consumption. Assembly cutting versatility can be used on almost any material.
For the first point of the limitation of extrusion die, first, uneven tissue performance of product. Because of the flow, metal is not uniform during extrusion. The surface layer, center, head and tail of the extrusion product are not uniform. Second point is the working condition of the extrusion die are harsh and easy to warm. During the extrusion process, the blank in a nearly closed state with high three-way pressure. At the same time, the mold is usually subjected to high temperature and high friction during the hot extrusion, which greatly affect the strength and the service life of the mold. The third point is low production efficiency. In addition to the continuous extrusion method developed in recent years, the conventional extrusion method cannot achieve continuous product. Generally, the extrusion speed is much lower than rolling speed, and the geometrical waste loss and yield of the extrusion product are low. For the limitation of laser cutting, the first point is laser cutting demand high power consumption as compared to other techniques. The laser beam is very delicate to handle. A slight mistake while adjusting the distance and temperature can lead to burning or discolor of the metal. The next point is the laser beam is harmful if it come in contact with human worker. It can cause severe burn if happen accidentally. So the next point is the production is not consistent in laser cutting as time for cutting various metal may vary. It does not complement all type of metal.
Lastly, I would like to talk about the cost incurred by both process. Generally, laser cut machine is quite expensive compared to the extrusion die machine, but there are several costs that can be reduced when using laser cut. First of all, laser cut can produce low or specific volume of aluminium if required by the customer, but extrusion cut need a lot of volume aluminium or volume batch, which will require a lot of cost. So here we can cut the initial cost of aluminium. Then laser cut machine require only a small space of work, which can reduce the monthly cost of the rent. Different with extrusion cut, it require a big space, so it will cost higher in monthly rent. And then lastly, extrusion cut require a lot of operator or labor, so it will cost the labor cost. But for laser cut, it only require a few expert in designer for it to work. So that are some advantages when using laser cut machine. That's all from me. Thank you.